Hi, everyone, and happy October. I hope you're excited for our next edition of Healthy Hives, a guide to building strong chapters. So, this month, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to go away from the standard presentation style, and we are going to have a conversation. I'm going to talk with you guys a little bit today about keys to success, talking more about the active and alumni engagement. So, this little conversation we're going to have is going to take the same framework as my office hours of tea time with Taylor. So, I have my tea. And I hope you have yours and we can have a nice little conversation. You can take a moment, grab your own tea if you would like. But the point of this is for me to fill your cup with information as we are going through this. So let's talk a little bit about how you, as an active chapter, can engage your alumni. So we're going to talk through this utilizing our pillars. So we're going to talk about how you can engage them service-wise, how you can engage them with friendship and sisterhood, and then also with leadership. So let's talk about service. So, when you think about service, there are really two routes that you can take. You can either do projects for alumni or you can do some projects with alumni. So first, let's talk about what you can do for alumni. So a lot of these projects are geared towards improving your alumni community and making them feel supported, or to help connect you with them in general. So some things that we suggest. First is OPA daycare. So this can be where you're providing free childcare to the alumni in your area. As a lot of us, we are college students, so we maybe don't have children, but there are some that do that are actives, but a majority of them are alum. And so providing them some free childcare could be super helpful for them and can help save them financially. It can be really expensive for childcare. And so it's a super helpful and meaningful way to engage with your alumni. Partnered with that, you can also do something similar, but for animals. So doing some dog sitting or cat sitting or just general animal sitting to look after any animals in your alumni's local area so they can get that support as well, because that also can be really expensive for them. So it's a really meaningful task that you all can do for them. Next is kind of thinking about raising funds or getting some materials that you send to certain occupations. So, for example, you can raise funds for teachers in your area, or even not in your area. There's a whole nationwide initiative to like clear that list. And with that, you're trying to clear the wish list of teachers. And so you can ask your alumni to create a list if any of them are teachers, or if you just want to partner with nationals and do like a general wide alumni teachers list and you all want to be included, we can definitely do that. That's a really awesome idea. And so Amazon wish lists are usually easiest if they're not local to you. If you do have some teachers that are local, you can make care kits and do it that way. You can make care kits for the students, for the teacher that is an alumni. Outside of raising funds, you can also write letters to their students, and you can also see how else you can help them throughout their curriculum. One thing we did in Chi chapter was we filmed videos of us reading like little storybooks that the teacher was then able to utilize and the students could utilize whenever they weren't in school and have stories read to them. So they were still getting that engagement of having someone read to them and all of that. That was super helpful for their development. And it was just really meaningful to us. It was really beautiful to witness and to like record the stories. And like, it was really nice. So that's something that you can do. In a similar vein, you can also do it with nurses. So a lot of nurses, they have patients that maybe don't have engagement with the families or just some kind of support system. So having you guys write letters to them is a super easy way to make sure somebody has some kind of connection and feels loved. So you can either do that with emergency rooms or a lot of pediatric wings. It's a really big hit for them as well. And then The next thing you could do is the Lost Alumni Service Project. So this is something that is also included in the What's New in HQ. I highlighted it in one of the documents, but it's a service guide that we created for you all to help track down any alumni that we don't have information for. So as we transitioned into OPA portal, as members graduate, sometimes we're not able to collect information to stay in contact with them. So things such as their addresses, their emails, their phone numbers. So we're able to send them letters and send them some exciting news and maybe a little bit of motivation. It'll help you guys be able to create newsletters so you're able to keep in contact with them and see how they're doing. So updating that is not only great for your chapter, it's also great for nationals because we also love to have that information so we can get in contact with all of our lifelong members. And then lastly, the last suggestion we have is Penpal. So you can have a Penpal that you do with alumni and it allows for them to kind of share some history, share what it was like for them when they were an active member, maybe answer any questions you have or anything in between. It's a really nice way to just have that intergenerational conversation with somebody that was literally in your shoes. So that's some suggestions that we have projects that you can do for alumni. So now let's talk about some projects that you can do with alumni. And I'm going to tell you a secret. Any service project that you plan, an alumni can attend. So we suggest that if you have any projects that you know you've been doing annually or you know are a big hit with your chapter and they have a great turnout, invite alum to them. Have them engage in that moment with you because most likely, especially if it's an annual event, they also attended it then, so they would probably love to attend it now. So it's a really easy way to engage with your alumni in that vein, and it can be super exciting. You also can have some just like general targeted fundraisers that you do, and you can just gain funds from alumni that way, especially if you do like the social media campaigns or if you send out an email asking them to donate funds to this specific place, etc. It's really easy to gain some funds that way. We also have an alumni group me for all of the alumni that we were able to get into it on Facebook. And so if you need any of us on the nationals team to help engage in that way, you can reach out to us because we're also alum and we're here to help you. And we're excited to see how we can connect to your chapter. So that's the service pillar. Now let's talk about leadership. So with this pillar, this is most likely going to be the alumni leading the show and helping to improve your chapter's leadership. Sometimes leadership is one of our pillars that can get overlooked if you're not holding a leadership position. So this is a really great way to not only engage alumni, but also pour back into your active sisters that are wanting to improve their leadership capabilities. So you can have them doing things such as intentional programming, they can host an event, they can create a training that you guys go through, or they can create a guide. So some suggestions that we have for this is doing an alumni networking event. So there's also a feature on OPA portal where you can group alumni based on their occupation or just some things that they might have in similar with other alumni. And you can use this to invite alumni to come and speak about their work, or they can flag any opportunities that are beneficial for sisters, such as internships, jobs, or just general helpful tools and trainings that they think someone in their field should have. So all of this can be done virtually or in person, whatever works best, but it'll allow for some really meaningful engagement that everyone is going to benefit from. Next, you can do kind of like a career readiness event. Each of these honestly could be their own separate event, or you can just have it in one big like career prep day. So doing a LinkedIn workshop, doing a resume or CV, like writing tips and like workshop, doing some interview prep, doing some headshots. All of these things are super beneficial to us once we graduate. And so it's super important that you can have some alumni. Sometimes alumni, like this is their career field, like career planning and preparation. So you have an even better end. But if not, you can also just have people that are in your field come share their resume with you and then also look at yours, give you feedback, etc. And it's super beneficial. So we definitely recommend that one. The next one you can do is having like a leadership summit. You can utilize like your chapters alum, but you also can utilize the national team since a lot of us have a lot of specific skill sets that we can utilize and we can present on. So it can just be like a half-day workshop that allows all members to learn something a little bit new in regard to leadership or risk management, conflict management, engagement, organization, project management, etc. So they can improve their resume. Sisters can sign up, attend, etc. But it's a really cool session-based opportunity for people to improve their leadership. It can be really similar to the Officer Leadership Academy. And if you need assistance creating a space like that, you can reach out to myself or Alyssa because we worked really closely to plan that event and we can help you plan yours. Next, we just have like general trainings. These are super great to utilize, similar to how we do these trainings once a month. It's really great if you can have other kinds of trainings that might benefit for your chapter, whether that is like career focused specific, leadership based, service based, etc. Just making sure that you're having a continuous learning approach is super great for you guys as you're going to grow as a chapter. And then lastly, we have an alumni mentor program. So as we all know, one-on-one support or feeling like you have someone is really, really important to you wanting to stay engaged in anything. And even more important for you wanting to stay engaged in OFIA. And so we want to make sure that you're able to learn, but also form connections. And so having a mentor, similar to having like a big, is great, but having an alumni mentor is someone that's a little bit more older, a little bit more wiser, and is able to provide you a different skill set of support. So this is a really great tool that you can utilize, especially coming back from COVID and not having a lot of people that were able to engage in OFIA before the pandemic and know what it was like to be in person the whole time and to engage, to fully be invested in it. Having an alumni mentor program is really cool because you can learn about what it was like before, and hopefully that'll help allow you to integrate some of those things back into the chapter now that everyone's starting to get back into the space of being how it was before the pandemic. So lastly, we are going to talk about friendship and sisterhood. So these are my favorite. So sisterhood is a huge way that you can engage alumni, especially because of the traditions. All of the traditions that we do, they were done or created or thought about by alumni. They're the reason we have them. And so it's an amazing way to engage with them, and it's super symbolic, which is great. So here are some things we suggest. An alumni luncheon or brunch. So for this event, it's centered around food and good time, which is always a win, which we love. And so that's super exciting. We also encourage having some kind of symbolic components. One thing that Chi chapter did was we had a rose bush that Gypsy, one of our active sisters, she thought of this idea because we had a community garden. And so we planted a yellow rose bush and we put decorated rocks by it that said O5A. And it was really cool to go over there. We had a whole little ceremony where we had an older president, the current president, read something and like water the rose bush. And so it was just really nice to see it grow over time and how we're able to tend to it just like we tend to our organization. So that's one suggestion, to just include some kind of symbolic, cute little ceremony that can be integrated into it and make it more meaningful and super fun. You can also at your luncheon have like a past and present position holder chat. So you can have the past president chat with the current president to learn from each other. Like, what are you guys doing now? What's something new you started? Or what's something that you did before? And so you're able to really get a well-rounded understanding of your chapter and how far you've came. Next, newsletters. So I mentioned these earlier, but newsletters are probably the easiest way that you can engage with alumni, but it's only the easiest way if you have contact information for your alumni. So these can be sent out either monthly, quarterly, or you can just send one out per semester. But all you're really doing is highlighting the amazing things that your chapter is doing. And so you're also going to highlight how can they support you, whether that's through funds, whether that's through attending something, whatever works. It just gives them an opportunity to really engage with actives. And so you can utilize OPA Portal to gather all the email addresses that are on there. And from there, once you start your newsletter, it will definitely tell you if you have the correct email addresses. If it's not able to send it, it will let you know and flag it for you. But it will also let you know what emails you have that are correct. So then you can send that out. There are a lot of templates to do it, but it's really fun and engaging if you highlight some cute photos that you guys were able to take, any exciting things that you were able to do, any of the impact that you guys were able to make is also really nice to know. So that's what the newsletter usually incorporates. Next is District Summit. So district summits are not required anymore, but you can always have them and plan one. And then once you have one planned, invite your alumni. And then you can also think about having a space for them to lead a session or to share highlights from whenever they were active, etc. You can just incorporate that into the space so then they feel a little bit more included. Next is Founders Day events. So Founders Day is amazing, and it's like one of the best ways to engage alumni because it's celebrating their time. It's celebrating the work they put into the organization, and it's celebrating how much they did to get you to where you are now. So it's a wonderful way to celebrate and integrate alumni. So for the Founders Day and for District Summit, we actually have planning guides on how you can plan an event for both of those. They're both very well indexed, so it really will let you walk you step by step so you know how to plan the event. So I definitely recommend those if you're really thinking about doing them. Definitely recommend and reaching out to those other chapters that are in your district so you can partner up and you can have an awesome district summit. Next is homecoming events. So homecoming can be a super hectic time. This is true. However, usually alumni are already in the area. So if you're able to get something on their calendar in enough time, they might attend. So it's a really good way if people are already in town to just engage with them, whether that's doing a tailgate or having a little brunch or having a baseball game that you guys do, and it's alum versus actives. There are so many things that you can do during homecoming time. It's just a matter of getting it on people's calendars sooner rather than later since they have so many options about what they could do. So it's just a really it's like a double time where they're able to go to homecoming and also like engage with their active chapter and like do that at the same time. So it's really good for them and also for you guys. So yeah, definitely recommend. And then lastly, we have a sporting event. So competition, while she is super fun, it can be intense, but it's even more fun when it's in the name of OFIA. So you can do an event like softball, OFIA Olympics, kickball, flag football, field day, etc. And you can just do teams. You can either do it like by families within your chapter, or you can do actives versus alums, grade level, etc. There's so many like different ways to like split it up, but it's super fun. And it's a really good way to get everyone involved. So those are the suggestions that we have on how you can engage alumni. I'm hoping after this conversation, you feel like you know what you can do. You feel a little bit more engaged, you feel connected, but more so, you have the tools that you need to be successful. So after you review this, think about what are you currently doing to engage your alumni? How can you improve that engagement? And do you have everything that you need to improve that engagement? If not, reach out to me and we will build out an awesome plan for you guys. But that is all I have for you, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, guys.